Hello, my posse. Hello, girls. How are you today? Thank you so much for coming over to my living room today. Today, we're going to have a great show. Today, we're going to talk about life and what life throws at us. You know, I was watching a video the other night that popped up on my YouTube channel. Well, not mine, but you know, it popped up. It was about a year old and was from a creator on here who was talking about her menopause, her life that she's gone through, the sickness, the jobs, the worry, and it was just a really great video. I will link it. It was from Taz's Wig Closet, and she wasn't doing wig reviews, but I thought it was very interesting listening to her. She's in her 50s, and I guess last year she was going through change of life and menopause and all the worries that you go through and how your mind goes wacky sometimes when you're going through this. And I thought, you know, this is a really good opportunity to talk about, especially with me being sick, being in my golden years, what a time to talk about what life throws at us women and how strong we really are. So if you want to know about this and you want to reach into yourselves and you don't want to feel sorry for yourselves and you want to be the best version of yourself you can be, even up through your golden years, you don't want to miss this show. So I suggest that you grab some tea. This might be a little long, so I appreciate you grabbing your seats and come over. Don't fight over the seats, girls. There's plenty of seats here. I've got lots of seats for you, so don't fight over them. Come on, Janice. Come on, Paula. Hey, Debbie. Come on, there's seats for you there. Anyway, today I'm drinking, by the way, I'm drinking chamomile flowers teas. This is really good. It just says it's cozy chamomile, and it's just pure chamomile flowers for those quiet moments. And on the back it says, take a moment just for you. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take a moment just for you. So let's grab some tea. Now, if you don't like tea, grab something else, but come and sit back with me. I'll take a couple sips and I'll wait for you. So I was thinking about when I was listening to her video about all the things that we as women have been through in our life, you know, and we're still standing if we're lucky enough to be in these golden years. And some of us aren't feeling well, some of us have health issues, but you know, let's talk about the things in our life in case you forgot what we've been through. You know, we've been married. We had to make those choices to get married. Some of the marriages lasted, some of the marriages didn't last. Some of us were left alone with children to raise on our own, like myself. I was married the first time, and really, he wasn't good at helping with the kids. I did most of it myself. I took them to practices if they wanted to go to school plays, if they were in school plays, and it was my responsibility to do that, and I really didn't mind as a mom. But when you think about it, those responsibilities, you know, add up on you, and you wonder sometimes, how am I going to do this? How am I doing all this? And I was balancing. I was working. I was a hairdresser, so I was working, you know, part-time in a beauty salon. And then, you know, after I met my second husband, Denny, who I've been married to for 52 years. It's like a first marriage. But anyway, he came into my house and he took over my boys, and he was their coaches, and he took some of the burden off me. And if you're lucky enough to have that in your second marriage, then I give you blessings like I give myself, because it was a wonderful thing that somebody actually came into my life and helped me. But in those process of years too, even with Denny helping me, I worked out of the house. I cooked, I cleaned, he worked too, yeah, but we had a lot of responsibilities as women. And then don't forget, you know, as we age, we go through menopause. You know, menopause for some of us is not an easy thing. I don't know how many of you, raise your hands out there, girls, how many of you have gone through the menopause. When I listened to Taz, she's gone through some pretty brutal menopause, change of life, hormone that goes crazy in your system. Your mind doesn't work right. You think that you're losing it sometimes, and you know, you got to take a hold, and some things you just don't have control over, and you've got to dig deep and find that control. And it's amazing to me that we can do that we can actually dig deep and find control and learn to stand up on our own 2 feet. I swear somebody has, through the years, you know, has stood by me and helped me up. And we all know God has been by my side, and I'm sure by your side. And I don't know. Somebody's kept me standing. And through the years, I'll tell you, Denny and I, I've talked about this on a video. We've lost an awful lot. We had a home, and we put all our money in. We sold the home. We had a beautiful home on the lake. We sold our home. All our money for our retirement was tied up in this lake house, and we moved into another house. And during the time back in 2005, we lost everything. We lost our house, we lost a car, we lost all of our money. We had to start all over again. And I'm telling you, I don't know, I look back sometimes, and I was working, trying to keep the jobs up, because we got through a period where we were laid off. They were laying people off. He was home emptying the house by himself. I was working. He would call me up and say, "What do you want me to do with barbecue pit?" "Throw it out." "What do you want me to do with this bookcase?" "Throw it out." So my nerves were like, just throw everything out. I was beyond stressed out, and he was beyond stressed out. We didn't know where we were going to go. And luckily, my daughter Gina had a house that she wanted to get out of to buy another house. So she let us take over her house. I should say house, right? That's Pennsylvania. I'm trying to watch my words. But she had a house, and we moved in there for a while, and she let us have it rent-free because we had no money. We had just gotten back to work, and it was crazy. I mean, I had her raised, of course. She had children of her own. We were babysitting them. She said, "Mom, the least I can do is let you have this house. You do all the babysitting that you do." And it was a godsend that we had this opportunity to but to make some more money to save to buy another house. And then all of a sudden she realized that the home had a balloon note on it, and she had to sell it, and here we were. But luckily, we ended up moving in with her in her new house for another year, and we were able to save money to have this house built, which was amazing. But all through the years, we've all suffered some kind of obstacles in our way, and just so stressful in our lives, and here we are still standing. And there's a lot of things that happen to us. It isn't always easy to go through things, and it's wonderful if you have family. I had my daughter Gina, my son Greg lived in Arizona, my other son Jeff and his wife lived in Nashville. So I didn't have that family bond of everybody being together except for Gina, so it all kind of fell back on Gina. But I mean, she was a wonderful daughter and helped us out, and I thank her for that. But even before all this happened with the house, I got sidetracked. Did I get sidetracked? I got sidetracked. But even before that, I was raising children. Am I working too much? Am I not working enough? Am I giving them enough attention? Am I getting them in sports? Am I getting them involved with the things that they need? And all this stress as a woman going through that, amongst going through menopause and change of life. Now, I was really lucky going through menopause. I didn't really get the menopause blues like a lot of you do. I don't know, I was going to the gym every morning at 5 in the morning with my daughter before she even had kids. And we would get up in the morning and we would always have a pact, like, if I don't want to go, you convince me to go. If you don't want to go, I'll convince you to go. But we got to get to the gym at 5 in the morning. We'd go to the gym at 5 in the morning, we'd come home, shower, get ready, and go to work. And so I think that going there every morning, I breezed through my change of life. I don't know whether it was the exercises I was doing, just getting out of the house, not being in that environment in the home all the time to think about, what's next and just get down about everything. I was involved. I was doing something. I was doing something for myself. And I think that helped me so tremendously breeze through change of life. I never got a hot flash, and I used to pray for hot flashes because I'm always cold, and I'm still always cold to this day. But I breezed through it, and I thank the good Lord that I breezed through it, because I had my moments, I guess, with hormones, and I probably yelled at the kids too much during that time. And we're not all perfect when we're going through that. I had some issues like that, but not to the point where I was like totally depressed. I was never depressed. It was one word I didn't allow in my house, and that was depression. And I fought that word tooth and nail. But I really wasn't depressed, but I guess I was down a little bit because of it, but not to the point where a lot of people are with change of life. I breeze through that. There's so many changes that happen in our lifetime. When you're young, you don't think about, I'm going to be sick, or I'm not going to have enough money for retirement, or am I going to have a house? Am I going to have to live in a senior home? Am I going to have to go to a nursing home? Those things you don't think about when you're young. You just think about your kids and raising your kids and working and having enough money to put food on the table and things of that nature. But you don't think about when you're older and what's going to happen to you when you're older. You just don't give it a thought. And then all of a sudden, your golden years get here, and here we are. And then when we think we can enjoy our golden years, we get sick. And a lot of and I have a lot of new subscribers too, and I'm sure I've seen you going back and looking at my videos, so you know that I had stage 4 breast cancer, and we just talked about that when I did my video with my son Greg that I introduced you to from Arizona. And so yeah, I don't know, I got sidetracked, I lost where I was. But we don't think about things like when we're older, and some people are lucky enough to save money for retirement. Denny and I lived from pay to pay. We didn't always save money or think about retirement, and we honestly thought that our retirement was going to be in our home. When we made a lot of money on the lake house, we put all that money down in this other home, and we thought that when we sold that house, that was going to be our retirement, and really it was. We lost probably $250,000 in home equity, in cars. It was a lot. It was a lot to lose. How we bounced back from that, like I say, thank goodness for my daughter. Or I probably, we never bounced back from that whole amount. Because we never could make that much money again. We just lost everything from our home. But when you're younger, you don't think of things like that sometimes. Denny and I lived from pay to pay. We gave to the kids what they needed. We had Gina. We weren't even expecting to have Gina. Denny had 3 kids of his own. I had 2 boys. We weren't expecting to have another baby, and then here was Gina. So we wanted to give her a good life and give her the best life we could. And of course, we ended up living from pay to pay. So, it's just funny how you go through life and you just don't think about things, and then you get older and you get scared, and you wonder sometimes, and I have to tell you too that sometimes we get forgetful when we're older, and a lot of times you got to remember that that's not always dementia. I know my poor husband, sometimes he forgets things. We all do though, and he's so afraid that he's getting dementia or Alzheimer's or something. But you just can't always think the worst sometimes. As you get older, you got to stay positive, and you can't think of the worst. I mean, I remember when I was going to work in the morning, and I always had a cup of coffee in the morning. I was going to work, and then as I was getting ready to finish getting ready, I couldn't find my coffee cup. I didn't know where I put my coffee cup. Now I'm 50, and so And so I thought, where's my coffee cup? I searched the whole house for the coffee cup. I couldn't find the coffee cup. And so lo and behold, a week and a half later, I'm in my pantry, moved some boxes around, and there was my cup of coffee in the back, all full of fur in the back there. I must have been thinking that morning of what I was going to have for dinner that night when I got home, what I was going to make, put the coffee in the pantry, and totally moved some boxes around and totally forgot about it. So, just because you forget things doesn't necessarily mean that, that you have Alzheimer's or you have something. We do get forgetful, and I think it comes from just being pulled in all kinds of directions when we're young. Kids, jobs, husbands, pleasing this one, pleasing that one, getting involved with neighbors, no matter what. I think we're just so involved in different things that I think those things just kind of catch up to us. That doesn't mean that, you're sick. So I don't want you to think, if you forgot where you left your coffee or anything that, that, oh my gosh, this is it, I'm losing it, because that's not necessarily true. We're just busy. We're just very, very busy. Women are very, very busy. I'm not saying that men aren't busy, and I'm not suggesting ever that men don't do as much as women. I mean, my husband worked around the house. he did a lot of things, but there's a lot of stuff that us women do. We are responsible for, most of us, for cooking. There's men that cook. I know I've got some men out there that watch, so I understand you. But I mean, a lot of the bulk of life, cooking, babysitting, changing diapers, steering our kids in the right direction, a lot of that falls back on us women. It's just the nature of the beast, and that's just the way it is. And, you know, as we get older, it catches up to us a little bit. You know, we just get forgetful. I mean, it is what it is. What are you going to do about it? A lot of things that, you know, we have to take control of as we get older. And for all of my wonderful subscribers out there who are sick, who are going through the same thing as me, battling cancer, battling a disease, I wish for you to get up off the couch and do something and try to stay active, try to stay busy, try to keep your mind and your body busy. You know, we're all given a body. All of these parts are all in one body. You know, our hands hurt, we ache all over. Our brain hurts, we ache all over. Our feet hurt, we ache all over. They're all attached to one another, and yet they're all separate. And they all have a job to do. We all have a job to do. So if you don't feel good, if you have a headache, you can lay down for a half an hour or so, get up, and then find the rest of the parts of your body and get moving. You know, God wanted us to be active. He wanted us to have freedom. He wanted us to be best. He actually probably wanted us to be the best version of ourselves we could be. I don't know if that's a Bible verse, but I think it should be in there someplace. God wants us to be the best version of himself that we can be. Maybe it's there and I missed it. I don't know. But anyway, but I think we just have to learn from everything that we've been through, that we have to, you know, try to get up and try to stand tall and try to remember to not let things get us down. We've been through an awful lot in our lifetime, and we can't let that get us down. We have to get up. You know, some of you know that I lost my son 3 years ago, and that is something that a mother should never do, is bury her child. And that, I don't know how I managed to get over that. His son, my grandson, is getting married tomorrow. I don't know when this is going to be released, but he's getting married Sunday, November 2nd in Tennessee. And as I said before in my video, Denny and I can't go because Denny's too sick. He's getting married way up on top of the Smoky Mountains, and our doctors don't think Denny could make it because of the altitude, and it's so far up away from everything that if Denny would have an episode and had to call an ambulance, he would never make it. And so we had to choose not to go to that wedding, and it's very sad, and I'm sad for my son that we can't go, but I'm sure my grandson and my new granddaughter understand, and I'm so grateful. My son Greg and his wife went to Tennessee, and they're representing all of us, and my daughter couldn't go either. Because it's Bella's 16th birthday, and it's Hayden made the playoffs for football, and it's just a busy 2 weeks, and everything just didn't fall into place. But I'm so grateful that Greg is going. But I know my son would understand. And like I say, it's been 3 years, and how we all got through that. I know my grandson is still having a difficult time, that his father's not going to be at the wedding. And my son was very sick. You know, he had a lot of mental health issues. I don't know. As a mom, I look back and wonder how that happened. I don't know where that happened. I don't know how that happened. But he got himself extremely sick, and I wish I could go back and try to sort through it. But I tried, and it's very difficult, but you know, you go through so many things. Some of you, when I released my video about losing my son, there were so many of you who have been in my shoes, who have lost a child, and so you know what it's like to lose a child. I don't know how I got over this. I guess just the support of my family. I guess walking with God. Getting support from all of you. You all have given me such wonderful support. I don't know what I would have done without you. If I wouldn't have been a YouTube creator and wouldn't have had all you praying for me and all you giving me well wishes, I still go back sometimes on that video and read some when I'm having a bad day and read some of your amazing comments that you commented to me, and they still lift me up, and I so appreciate you with all my heart. But you know, there's that as far as, you know, going through life and the hurt and the struggles that we go through. There's many of them, but you know, somehow we come out the other side, and I don't know whether we're stronger or what we are, but we manage to come out the other side and live our life the best that we can. And you know, I want the same for you. I mean, like I say, we're all women. We've all been through the same thing. We've made mistakes in our life. It's not too late to fix any mistake that you've made. If you've hurt somebody through the years, call them up today and talk to them if they're still around, and tell them, you know, you're sorry. Tell them something that'll make you feel good and lift the burden that you've carried around for all these years. So, you know, I wanted to just touch base today a little bit about, you know, about how strong we are, and about, I don't want you to give up on yourselves, and that we are a powerful tool, us women. I'll tell you, I don't know if calling us tools is good or not, but anyway, we are very powerful, and we're very strong, and we have a drive like no other. And I think all of you are inspiration. You've all been an inspiration to somebody in your life, and I think you don't give yourself enough credit for being you and being the best version of yourself that you are. And I want you to know that you're not alone, that we've all been through things, and that we're going to get through things. And I've been blessed to be in remission. I don't know how that's possible with as bad as my cancer was. I know every time I have my CAT scan, it's like, oh boy, this is it, you know, and you get scared. I'm not going to lie that you don't get scared, because you do. But here I am still 2 years later in remission, and I'm very blessed, and I'm honored, and I'm very blessed and honored and privileged to have known every solitary single one of you out there, because I'm telling you the truth, I could not have survived these 2 years without you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. There is no way on this earth that I could have survived without all of you. And I hope that you know that, and that that's not just a bunch of filler words that I'm giving you. It's the honest to gosh truth. I could not have survived without all of you. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So I guess the only thing I could tell you is get up, get fixed up, realize that you're the best, realize that you still got years ahead of you. I know some of you are really sick like me. There's days that I'm really sick. My poor husband is still trying so hard to breathe. It's awful for me to have to watch him. And I know you love him dearly with all your heart. And I know he's your favorite guy, and he's my favorite guy. And I know that you're praying for him every day, and he's just having an awful time. And trying to keep him positive is another job that us as women have to do. I know Jerry, my friend on here, she lost her husband a few months ago, and I know towards the end she had to keep him positive, and it's hard because we get mad. Sometimes we get mad at the disease, we get mad at why, you know, a good person has to suffer. We have a lot of questions that we ask, like, why is this happening? And I know Jerry's coming out of it. Well, she's not coming out of it. She misses her husband every day, and I pray for her every day. But you know, we have to stay strong, and us women are just given this gift of life and love, and we're just blessed. We're just given this gift somehow of making things better for everybody around. So I want to thank you so much for coming over today and listening, and I hope I inspired you a little bit to maybe, you know, get better, help yourself, get up, get moving. Think of all the wonderful things that you've done in your lifetime, whether you've raised kids, whether you've had a husband or two, whether you've, you know, have grandchildren that you've helped raise like me. It's been a blessing. Just think about all the great things that you've done and all the things that you've accomplished, and I hope that gives you inspiration to keep going. I love you girls with all my heart, And I will talk to you again real soon in the next video. Stay tuned. I love you. And thanks for coming to my show. And I hope you drank with me. I hope you enjoyed your tea. And my Wonder Woman cup tells it all. I feel like I am Wonder Woman. Take care. Bye-bye. And thank you so much for all your prayers for me and my Denny. I love you. Bye-bye.